Ooh, you know what he's been playing in pubs a little bit? That I'm not sure if it's the best pick, but it's a hero
10
that can
seconds
like
remaining.
isn't quite heavily punished by
5
the
seconds
Night
remaining.
Stalker
So
because
who?
he's already going to be doing his things. What do you reckon I'm talking about?
You're talking about the position 5, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what's all he been playing? Is in his pubs? What are you talking about?
Dire
What's he
team
been playing?
Io. They might be looking to play an Io here. You're already going to be tethered together with someone. As soon as that Dark Ascension gets popped, just use the overcharge to reduce a lot of the damage that's going to be coming in onto you. Pairs reasonably together with the Sven, gives you some good pick-off potential as well with that Void Spirit moving around. Hell, we might even be able to
10
see a Keeper of the
seconds
Light Ag
remaining.
Shard coming through and have that recall bonus as well. So a
5
lot more
seconds
movement around the
remaining.
map potentially coming through from IG.
And we've been seeing a lot of the steroid position 5s as well. So at least with
Ooh,
how
Radiant
we
team
might also get
back.
to see the Monkey King mid. I've been waiting for it.
it's looking like that could be the case. So they're saving FY's hero to last. So well, we'll find out. Honestly, again, I was saying this Monkey King
10
could be
seconds
flexed.
remaining.
FY's done it before. I feel like you want
5 seconds remaining.
yeah, actually, why not? Because this is going to be a Void Spirit 3. Sorry, Void Spirit 2. So and you put the life steal in the Viper lane, so you have your built-in rage to get some of the reduction in the poison attack, and then the monkey in a melee matchup is pretty solid.
They've got the last pick overall as well, too, so they
Dire
know
team
exactly
back.
what what IG are going to be doing. You still do have the flexibility of just putting the Viper mid, though, right? Like, and Monkey King doesn't have an amazing time into that. Sure, it would be then a Void Spirit into a Life Stealer, which isn't amazing, but if it's early tempo that you want and securing that mid lane and
10
preventing a lot of these
seconds
rotations,
remaining.
then I think you're pretty fine with it.
5 seconds
We'll
remaining.
see.
Radiant team
I
back.
want to see finally the Wind Ranger gets banned out. I think it was pretty necessary. You know, it's one of those things. If they do go for the IO, it's a very easy shackle together. You can get rid of the Viper quite effectively. Come on, no IO ban. I want to see it. I've seen it a couple of times. I think
10
LGD picked
seconds
it up to pair
remaining.
together with a Luna. Didn't work out for them in that game, but
5 seconds
something
remaining.
about it, you know, that seeing that little ball of light come back, very minor
Dire
buffs coming
team
out of the
pick.
more recent patch. Come on, let's see it.
Do you feel like though the AoE that Elephant have makes it a bit difficult for Io to have impact? Like disrupt the static storm's pretty good versus him, glimpse out of the tether,
10
drop the
seconds
Wukongs, then you
remaining.
can't really man fight into that. That's a big AoE vicinity there. You just have to
5
get out of
seconds
dodge
remaining.
and Knight's
I
Io
feel
is
like
Radiant team pick.
damn. I feel like you would just have to change the way that you would play it, right? You just constantly need to be attached to the Sven. You can't be off on your own so that you're vulnerable to, like, you know, that sort of glimpse movement. But it's going to be a Slardar coming out here. So what is this? Like a 4
Void
Void
4.
Spirit?
10 seconds remaining.
I
Or a
like that a
5
lot.
Viper? It might be a 5
No,
Viper, actually,
5
into the Night
seconds
Stalker.
remaining.
Just bully him out.
potentially, but I think then it depends on this last pick for Elephant. And that's looking
You
like
now
FY's
select your
hero. So now
heroes.
you want to, if it is a monkey mid, which is looking like it's going
Nope.
to not
Mid Life
be.
Stealer? Mid Hoodwink?
Okay.
Okay. Mid Life
What
Stealer,
does
it
a mid?
seems.
Do you
I
put
mean,
the
I guess they're
Slar?
just protecting against the Viper potential flex, right?
So now I think you play Slardar mid and Viper off because you pick the
Yes.
Slardar to lane versus the Life Stealer. It's emo. Okay. So then I think you're right now. Viper support. Huh.
Yeah. 5 Viper. Yang doesn't have an
Huh.
early game. I mean,
10
JT
seconds
could just play
remaining.
mid, right? Like, I know Emo, he is the mid laner. They give a ton of priority over to him. The amount of times that I see, you know, just multiple people coming through to bottle refill, I would say IG is probably one of the highest in the entire Chinese region. The number of stacks that they're able to give over to him, even if JT's having a bit of a rough game, they just prioritize Emo so much more. But I feel like for matchup purposes, it's I mean, it's still pretty damn good to have this Slardar laning into the Lifestealer.
Yeah, we've got some interesting lane setups with a position 2 Lifestealer, the Oli Viper as well. This is something that South America love to do. We don't see it a whole lot in China, even though China is a region that can have some wonky position 5s as well. Kind of the innovators of the Abaddon, Omni, the Brewmaster, all of these greedy 5s. So we'll see if they can get away with the position 5 Viper, which I guess with what you can provide in the lane, like you are still a very...
You could even switch up the lanes, right? Like you could run Fly and Ollie into Eurus. So I think we might be seeing some musical lanes going on here. Like none of these lanes, except for the Lifestealer, wants to play against the Viper. So, and it's already maybe that selected the Lifestealer. So he wants to be just in the mid lane. He'll probably beat out Emo, most likely. But other than that, I mean, you're kind of a slave to wherever this Viper goes for either the Monkey King or the Night Stalker.
For battle.
I think FNG plays it in the European region. I can't think of anyone else on the top of my head that likes to do the 5 Viper.
Well, how are we feeling? We got a interesting draft here. Elephant, you know, they're down a game in the upper bracket round 1, and they're opting for a position 2 Lifestealer, and then for the side of Invictus Gaming, a game advantage in their regard, and they're going for a position 5 Viper. So some interesting things across the board. Is there a side we're favoring with at the moment?
I would favor IG a little bit, but it's going to depend on how they set up the lanes. Like like who is going to have the more advantageous matchup? Who's going to be able to scout people out super early on, and make those movements without the TPs being
30
used?
seconds to battle.
Feels like for Invictus Gaming, the nice thing is they're going to have an immense amount of physical damage to go through these BKBs. You know, Lifestealer has one innately in the toolkit. Monkey King is a hero that very much relies on a BKB so he doesn't get kited, and you know, you've got a nice kind of hybrid of damage which forces you to go into the BKB but doesn't mitigate all of the damage because of the, you know, the Sven along with the Slardar as well.
Another fight, but as we saw last time, they're not going to fall victim to it this time around, but the Keeper of the Light was what ended up being able to secure them. That, I think he did about 400 damage last time, just with the amount of heroes he was able to hit with that fully charged Illuminate. So how are these lanes going? All right, so it is 3 heroes going down towards the bottom side, Kaka, Ollie, and Fly, and it's going to be into the Monkey King, which they're scouting out here with the Observer Ward, and they're going to find Super as well. So they're going to be careful not to completely show how they're going about things, but it's kind of as I was expecting, right? You want to make sure that you've got this Viper into the hero that's going to need to carry into the super later stages. And I mean, one of the advantages of being able to push this lane in is that Ollie, with his poison attack, as long as he's using that orb attack, the tower's not going to hit you. So as long as creeps are underneath it, you can just get a lot of harass off, and they can't really do anything about it to stop. Was he going to even get this career? Yeah, well, the TP comes away from Eurus super early on. First TP is the one that loses because you could just immediately reply to it. Let's see how long it is until Firefly looks to change. I mean, Ollie might just stay, though. Against Yang, it's still a totally fine lane.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see now how IG, they're the ones that can determine how they have the lane set up now. Like you said,
Yang's got to be careful.
Yang? Form very low here once the poison attack is continuing to stack up here, and look at all right click from Karkas, enough to bring down first blood. So IG hitting the board early.
Quite remember.
I mean, it's always what you want when you're playing this this tri lane. They get the first blood, and then immediately, like we expected, Ollie just follows up Eurus. He doesn't have TP again on the top side. Even if he was to buy it and look to potentially go back down towards the bottom lane, he would have to spend 100 gold to do so. So Ollie, I think he's just going to continue harassing out. You can see he's got the couple of enchanted mangoes purchased up, so his role is just to not get any farm at all, continuously bully Eurus.
And they're doing just that. Eurus is taking so much damage, just trying to get what little life back he can with the lifesteal, but JT and Ollie just showing their dominance in this early lane, and these are two very, very strong laning stage heroes. And Do you feel like this is where we're going to see Viper start to trail off into a support role more? Because personally, for me, I see this hero dominate lanes, but then fall off as a core once the game goes on. But if you play it as a position 5, you still do the same role as what you do as a core. You dominate the lane, and it doesn't really matter if you fall off as much in that regard because you don't have the farm priority.
And then even just have a look at, like, you know, they're going for a chase into FY, just missing the crush on JT there. Nice bushwhack, actually. Viper might be under a little bit of stress, but what I was just about to talk about was that Nether Toxin. Look at all of the different Nether Toxin targets you can have. No Feast, no Ghoul Frenzy, no Jingu Mastery able to build up. Like, it's pretty damn significant that what you're going to have in terms of mid-game impact just by tossing down that Nether Toxin.
Did I interrupt you?
He needed matter anyway, it's fine. He was down to 50.
Oh, it also helps with super rotating up top. So they're leaving Yang solo at the moment, which we'll see how much he's able to get out of this. But against the two heroes, it feels like Yang is not going to have the greatest time without manipulating the creep equilibrium. So, but it is the first daytime, of course, which is always tends to be the biggest weakness on the Night Stalker. And we're going to have a tri-lane up top. They're even bringing over the extra support on Invictus Gaming, but Oli trying to eat a fairy fire and hope to get back to safety, but he's going to die a second time in a row with the teleport scroll still on cooldown. And JT looking for his own revenge, going to turn to deal with Eurus, but unable to win that man fight considering the Jingu stacks are already there.
Okay, so that's a fairly big misplay. I mean, it's one of the things that is always going to happen whenever you're running into this tri-lane. Viper, very slow, doesn't have the boots of speed, obviously prioritizing a lot more into the region, and FY is playing this lane very well, being able to get multiple hero bushwhacks off constantly, and they're even going to come out on the better end of this. It's a great response from Elephant.
And now, with all their attention they've dragged to top, it means that Yang can solo the matchup versus Firefly, which still, I feel like Sven is going to be a little bit more favored, but once at least Yang gets the first nighttime, he's going to have more levels to play with, so we could see a rotation for him to mid, or even a support to come back to bottom as well, as Super will end up falling. If they can funnel a lot of the kills to JT, then giving him a really good blink timing will enable the plays to follow up with the Void Spirit, who also wants to get active early.
It's just this full-on brawl on the top side. They have to make sure... Does anyone have a Quelling Blade? I mean, if I'm JT, I want to make sure that I'm cutting down, these trees in the middle of the lane on cooldown, because it's just enabled FY to get a couple of kills already onto that sort of area. FY is going to walk through, use the good movement speed that Hoodwink has, because Lifestealer, he's not a bottle builder, so he's not going to want to leave the lane. Somnus, we haven't really touched on this mid lane a fair amount, but you're a Lifestealer into a hero that does the majority of his damage as magic, so he's having the better trade out of things versus Emo so far.
And what would you like to see the build be here for Somnus on the position 2 Lifestealer? Do you think it's still going to be the pretty consistent position 1 itemization?
I think it's going to be pretty similar. Maybe, like, instead of going for something a little bit more late-ish game, he's going to go with an armlet where occasionally you see the position 1s forego it. But I feel like as the position 2, with your levels, you need to try and up the tempo as much as possible. Emo, though, he's not going for a kill just yet. Thought he might have, considering there weren't any creeps for Somnus to infest.
Such a interesting... have you ever seen Lifestealer mid? I really don't think I have.
Maybe in unranked pubs, but that's about it.
Yeah, so none of these pro games where we've seen some experimental heroes being played in different roles, and this game we get a tree here with the Somnus Lifestealer top lane. Action continuing, but it's just JT and Karka looking to continue with the trade. Eurus is just having an okay time. I mean, he's 4th in net worth at the moment. Sven's definitely the heavy hitter out of the lanes, but Ollie's in trouble and looks to be a goner. Firefly though, wanting some revenge. A beautiful 2-man stun before the Climps back, and I should give him some time to catch up. Unfortunately for Firefly, he's not getting any assistance from his mid laner. And again, also the action continues up top as JT has the crush back up now, but FI not going to be in range for it. Karka will try and charge up the Illuminate. It's
Ooh, and wide, just a little short. That mischief is going to be nice, though, into the Keeper of the Light. Chasing down a little bit here onto JT. No mischief available
nice
now.
sidestep from Eurus, but... And now he's going to actually look to Manfight with this regen. It's enough.
Oh,
Eurus, what a
Eurus.
player.
Tower is under attack.
Oh, my.
What a play. I mean, the other disadvantage, I suppose, of having the lifestealer mid is that you don't have the rotation potential of the likes of Emo, right? You need to walk up the top side. You just essentially stroll up to these heroes. Might even try and steal the rune away.
Somnus is
it's
dead.
Bottom side anyway. Nope, never mind.
See this coming.
Oh, he had a lot of one charges. Okay, never mind. I didn't see that. My god, that was very close. Still doing very well here. 30 net worth, equal with the Void Spirit. So this is going to be a much different performance, it feels like, from the Voids than what we saw in that game 1. Emo's got an astral step up in 2 seconds here. See if he'll continue with the chase. The mark damage, not enough. That regen from the tower assistance. Bottom lane though, Fly going on the Sven at the moment. They've still got the glimpse to drag him back if he gets any extra distance away. So a slow, painful death for the Sven as Yang getting on the board for the second time this game. And well, it does mean FY now is alone up top, but the only issue is getting on top of the pesky Hoodwink with how mobile he can be.
Yeah, FY has been really on point with a lot of his spell casting here, preventing any sort of deaths on him, setting up multiple kills for himself, and that's given them the freedom to rotate through and get kills like that in onto Ollie. Another, actually they didn't block up the camp that time around, but they are still going to scout out the fact that a lot of these camps are starting to build up. Does Eurus have any into the tree dance? Just the one, so it's going to be a slow take here by Elephant, but still very important to be able to take away a lot of that comeback potential where finally FY goes down on the top side, but it's a heavy rotation. And they're losing their stack because of
Dire's
it.
middle tower is under attack.
Super's just... he was taking up the hard camp before. I'm like, Super's got no self here afterwards. I wonder if he's just going to deny himself, and yeah, ends up doing so. So a free trip back to the well, which does cost him a little bit of time, but looks like... Do you feel like this game is just going to be a more farm-orientated second game, especially with how, you know, the position 2 on Somnus and also kind of the support on IG with the Viper and Coddle not being able to make as many plays?
I don't know. I feel like it's going to need to get pretty aggressive for both lineups, right? Like, you want to bully this Viper as much as possible in the super early game. Right now, it's just basically abilities that you have, not a ton of stats, so you can very easily take him down. He's going to be the main target to focus in every single team fight because of how effective that Nether Toxin's going to be against all of their passive abilities. And as well, like, look at his net worth. He's only just climbed over 1,000. He picked up his boots quite recently because he was spending all of his net worth on buying sentry wards to de-ward up this tri-camp area, as well as on mangoes for the laning stage.
And have you seen any of the South American games with the Position 5 Viper, by any chance?
Say again?
Have you seen any of the South American games with the Position 5 Viper by any chance? Because I'm intrigued to see what Oli does after the laning stage, especially with how far behind he is. Hold that thought as top lane, Yang. They need this extra control so he can't fly away, and comes through at the last second thanks to the answer and the slaughter.
Emo with his haste rune, he's kind of considering things, but he might be running into 3 heroes here. Actually, never mind. Eurus makes the rotation down towards the bottom side, so now that he's showing, I wonder if that'll give him the confidence to try and push forward.
Attack.
Yeah, no, I as degenerate as my current sleep schedule is, I have not had a chance to watch some SA Viper. What's the go there?
I'm just, like, I don't know how Ollie's going to play the early to mid game on the Viper. Like, do you tank up the role of like a Abaddon-esque / Enchantress hero where you just be a hero to pop yourself in the front line? You know, Viper's definitely not as tanky as those heroes because we always feel this as the game goes on, you know, people call him kind of the paper airplane, and that's when he's a core and has some more stat heavy items. So I don't know if Ollie's just going to look to be tanking up a lot of the ganks and the initial damage from Elephant, if he's going to play the backline, just maybe a Nether Toxin, because you have highlighted how good of a game the Nether Toxin is to get rid of the passive. So I'm just intrigued to see on how he will continue to show some impact as this game goes on.
I think he needs to be in the middle of all of these fights. Like, not in the center, but like, if you think about frontline versus backline, as, JT, he's the role of the frontline, and unfortunately he goes down for IG's side, but him and Sven, they need to be the frontline. Same sort of thing with the Void Spirit to create space for the heavy backline, which is Kaka, and then sitting in between everyone is going to be Ollie, popping down that Nether Toxin, and his job is to assist with kiting, basically, because you're still playing against a 3 melee heroes lineup. You've got the Viper Strike, you've got the Poison Attack, so he's going to look to try and get those in onto the Monkey King and the Night Stalker in particular. Even having the Tumbler's Toy to help out a little bit with that, and you can see the Fluffy Hat purchased up. I think he might be looking to convert that into a 4-staff, just to be able to help the rest of his team as well.
Elephant looking to try and defend the tier 1 talent down bot. Converging on the area with Super Insomnus, and FY has already looked to join the area, but IG are a little bit cautious of sticking around for too long. Gonna go for a smoke here. They are very reliant on Emo to start the fight on the Void Spirit, considering Slaughter is going for a lot more of the scaling build with this Midas as his first item.
Radiant are scanning.
And I believe Radiant have even smoked up as well, with the scan connecting. Emo's going to be the first one to pop it. Heavy commitment if he can get over towards a double damage room, but unfortunately an instant answer in the Static Storm. The Yours will give him some time, but there's the follow-up as well from Yang. There's no escape, and now even Ollie's in trouble. They get the detection, Ticklem's dragging back. Great use of the Dark Ascension there, and this is that vision advantage coming into play thanks to the Night Stalker, which can heavily enable a pick-off after pick-off.
And you just see with those positionings there, like, he is not in the mid to back areas of the lineup, and still super early on. That Fluffy Hat, unfortunately, doesn't do too much when it's nighttime and a Night Stalker's running right at your face. Pretty good time to pop it as well, you know, you're able to get it, clean up a couple of kills, convert it into a mid tower, although doesn't look like IG are keen to let this continue to happen. Only 10 seconds or so until it's going to be nighttime again, but Yang will probably fall before then.
A lot of damage to the Night Stalker. Emo has another follow-up as well, and even pushes through forward to lock in FY. A nice attempt in the escape, but that's instantly answered by the Remnant to drag him back to his demise. And now Invictus Gaming looking to try and answer the call and take their own tier 1 tower mid, which they will do so with ease.
They might even be looking to invade into the Tri-Camp area. I mean, all of the heroes are here. You've got Night Stalker, he's on the sidelines. I guess it is nighttime. If they did, they might have been able to clean up this triple stack that they've built up here for Somnus, but he's slowly just going to continue taking it. He goes back to his own ancient camp so that he's not wasting the God Strength there. Wow, it's looking good.
Looking very good. 1,000 net worth lead for Invictus Gaming. Seems to be a bit of an issue that Slardar's falling behind, but he's not going to opt for the Midas at the moment here, JT, recognizing that they want another way to start these fights. With this Blink Dagger now completed, we might see the pace start to ramp up a little bit for the 7 kills on IG. Again though, they're looking to defend bot. Die scouted out Super and Yang, and they might have even seen that TP to the outpost from Somnus, so they are instantly out of dodge, but nonetheless, at least finding that tier 1 tower. And meanwhile, Fly just continuing to get all his farm, working on the BKB as his next item. Top of the net worth hasn't been on the kill chart just yet on Fly, but once he's able to find these items, especially the BKB, just minimizing a lot of the control. Gonna try and catch out Ollie, and FY, the answer once again to the instant TP out, and this kill should transition to the tier 1. Let's see what IG want to do across the map though. They can maybe pressure out the top tower, but they're not really in the area. So in fact, they're going to think about taking Roche with the minus armor, with the Corrosive Haze, and God Strength. They're going to do it at a pretty fast rate here.
I mean, you've always got that threat, right? With the Echo Saber as well. The save potential isn't quite there. I mean, if you get on top of this, the Life Stealer, the Keeper of the Light, until these 4-stars come out, and it's still going to be a long time until Kaka picks up the Aghanim Scepter, you don't really have any kind of save if a Night Stalker and a Life Stealer and a Monkey King get on top of you. You've also got that great vehicle for the Life Stealer because, you know, mid, you don't have quite the same mobility as the standard mid heroes, the Quap, all the different spirit heroes, but if you've got that vehicle through the Infest Bomb, then pretty damn effective.
This ward down bot for Dire is actually doing way too much. It saw that movement from Elephant to try and protect their T1 tower bottom, which IG instantly dodged and then was enabled for them to take Roshan. And then they saw the heroes starting to converge to top, and well, they know they're still down there, which enables the jump on the Night Stalker. Like, that ward is giving them so much information, and now Emo's looking to jump super as well. The Void Spirit putting so much work into this early game, and it's paying dividends from Invictus Gaming. Looking to push on 4 for more. JT's got the blink, the crush onto 2. They're going to be careful if they don't lock down the Monkey King, and if he can get the ultimate off, but the taunts out, there's no opportunities. Emo once again showing up huge, and now Somnus, this rage is on cooldown, but he still will be protected from the potential Infest carrier.
That's a big kill, though. You know, they've already got the net worth lead. They've got the Sven that's going to be capable of scaling. Did they finish the Midas on the Slardar? No, actually, they're looking to change things up. He just went the Gloves of Haze for a bit more of that brawling build, but now with the 4 staffs on the Keeper of the Light and the Viper, with all of that fresh assist gold that he was able to pick up, it just becomes so much more difficult for Elephant. Hell, even when they pick up the BKBs, you're still going to have that Viper strike. And it's just about trying to reduce the amount of time that they're able to focus on you. I'm sure next they might even look to go into a Ghost Scepter or something like that, particularly on Ollie.
You're a tree hugger.
Well, this has also been quite often the first and the second night time for a Night Stalker is the big way to determine if he's just going to snowball a game or if it's going to be a lot more difficult for this hero to head into the later stages, because he can really put his stamp in a game through that early duration. But IG have completely dodged the second night time, again off the backs of some of their incredible warding, and now they're looking to continue to take the fight to Elephant. Smoking up through the jungle with Emo leading the charge. Once again on top of the support in the backline, they're just going to try and knock off FY to start the fight. They get out of dodge as well with the Static Storm, so it's just enough to claim the kill. But they still get the drag back once again. Beautiful play from Super. The vision from Yang enabling that glimpse, but they're going to be careful now because a lot of ultimates were used for round 1. Kiting needs to come into play. A perfect A for Remnant, dragging back the Night Stalker, and they can continue to jump on Yang, but Emo's going too deep. And your Scepter's up in a couple of seconds. It's not enough, though, with the Dissimulate and Astral Step both on cooldown. They'll claim up the life of the Void Spirit, and Ollie's gonna fall as well. I was just harping on how important the vision has been from IG, and now it shows up huge for Elephant thanks to the Dark Ascension.
Great quick fingers by Somnus as well. He got the Infest onto the Night Stalker. It was still Dark Ascension for quite a while, so you had that vision. They had the greater understanding of how to be able to take that team fight. If he goes down, then suddenly you lose a lot of that effectiveness. They placed down a nice deep Observer Ward as well, so IG thought that they would have the vision advantage if they could focus the Night Stalker and take him down. By keeping him alive, things just kept swinging further and further in Elephant's favor, even though there was some nice 4-star usage getting out there from both Ollie as well as the Coddle.
And now it gets them out of dodge for the next 2 minutes. That would have been the remaining time of the ages. And some
it is daytime now, though. They know there's no Dark Ascension for a minute, and looks like Yang is priority number 1, although FY Super, they're doing a good job of standing in the way. So they're looking to go around, perhaps. It'll pop, though. Daytime gives a lot of vision.
See, the damage burst is still coming through, but again, FY. And what a bushwhack. Super finally drops the kinetic field, but looks like the damage has been done to kill off the starter. And Emo now has to be cautious. He doesn't have any ultimate charges. And it looks like Emo is just recognizing there's no way to escape. He's trying to do as much damage as humanly possible. They'll drag back Karka as well. Even Fly is showing up. But, I mean, this Sven's got to get out of dodge. The only issue is that Radiant, they can continue the chase with how mobile they are. Glimpse is up in 5 seconds here, so they should get an extra +1 kill on Olin, and this is the big issue. Like, the save your teammate syndrome is always heavily punished and heavily dealt with from a disruptor, and it's showing right now.
FY's playing godly. I think they just saw the smoke being popped though as they were running away from that tower. Tier 2 towers giving relatively more vision as well. So Sven just completely books it. He's not going to put himself in any kind of position to stick around. But yeah, I mean, despite this, you know, it is still 22 and 10. But the net worth is kind of looking pretty similar. What's the experience graph looking like? All right, that's a little bit more now in Elephant's favor with it approaching about the 3,000 mark. But still, the difference here isn't quite as pronounced as one might expect it to be a lot of the time because of how much Fly is going to be able to get out just with the natural utility of the Sven. And they're clearly playing around this next team fight. Hopefully for IG, they don't play it kind of like what Elephant did last time. They were a little bit antsy. They went just prior to picking up the BKBs, sorry, the Blink Daggers. They went just prior to the God Strength. They have all of these abilities now on IG's side. Level 3 God Strength, Blink Dagger available, daytime. Sure, they got the Dark Ascension, but it's still going to be a much more effective team fight, you would think, coming out from IG now in response to this. But they know Firefly's positioning. He actually walked underneath the outpost there. So did Emo, so they can continue to play on the top side of the map. Might just be looking to force the rotation down here, but Firefly is kind of on his lonesome a little bit. If they made a heavy rotation, he could run the risk of falling.
Yeah, and they're going to at least set up with FY. Just trying to do as much damage as he can. Be a nuisance to the Sven. What do we feel like is the priority here from Invictus Gaming? Because we've seen them lose these past previous team fights, so the momentum is starting to grow from Elephant. How can they stem this?
I mean, it has to be the next Roche that they're playing around. It could potentially come within a minute or two. But look at the next key items that they're looking to build up into. I mean, as important as it is to give over farm to this Sven, you gotta give Emo something. Like, he's now just finished up his Aghanim Scepter. It's a fair bit later than you normally would expect. Typically, you try and hit that level 15 timing alongside the Ags, but I suppose he went the Yule Scepter first. JT, he's still about 1,000 gold away from his BKB, and Kaka, he's still a full item away from his Aghanim Scepter. So it's a little bit earlier than they might like. They're trying to force a Dark Ascension to be popped earlier, but look at the positioning coming through from Elephant. They realize some of the key timings that IG are hitting. Just slowly inching forward on JT, trying to catch out a key target. It's not going to be the case before nighttime.
The FY might run into the brunt of the force here. Smoke's going to pop.
Get away again, though.
They'll catch him. This time they'll bring down the pesky squirrel. Are you
damn Kiwi?
You reading what I'm reading? What's going on there? I'm a bit afraid that you said exactly what I was going to say.
I mean, if you had to use an adjective to describe Hoodwink, that's pesky's probably what I would.
Yeah.
Damn little bushy tail, little fush and chop saying.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Kaka still sticking around. The rest of the team has already reset their position to rally around their triangle, and yeah, unfortunately for Kaka,
Pretty happy that you're popping Dark Ascension though for it. Like,
yeah,
it's unfortunate. Like, maybe they were thinking everyone was hanging around because, you know, not too often you've got a Keeper of the Light hanging around on this side of the map on its own, especially at nighttime. But he was just getting a little greedy. He's so close to picking up that Aghanim Scepter, that death taking him about 200 extra gold away from it. So it's a bonus. It's not like it's a completely wasted Dark Ascension. You're still going to have 3.5 minutes of nighttime. But, you know, IG, they might be able to feel a little bit more confident about taking this next fight with JT now having the BKB picked up. They're going to look to group together, still having the God Strength. And with him respawning very shortly, I'm sure he might look to TP to either the Tier 2 or the Outpost. Have to be careful about where they use this smoke, though. Look at that nice deep vision up by Elephant. Could try and catch him out with it. Here we go. They see the TP. Oh, no, no, no.
I see everyone grouping.
And just wanted to push out the catapult first, but this is scouted. 100% scouted. So let's see how Elephant look to reply to it. It's going to be FY, surely, that puts his body in the way because he's got the Invis rune. Although he might just, look to use it onto the midwave. I mean, he's getting damn close to his Gleipnir, actually. So much more teamfight control available for them.
And now Radiant have to be really cautious of how they play around bot, because this next objective, like you were saying, it's going to be Roshan. The second Rosh up in 50 seconds. And if you get caught out for 5-10 seconds too long around bot, well, we've seen previously that IG can take it at an incredible timing.
It's so rare that it happens. I do just need to call it out. Some guy just donated 100 gifted subs in the BTS channel, so thanks for that. Flint Sword, very nicely done. All right, engagement coming through here. They've got the Dark Ascension in 10 seconds.
Kaka just picked up Ags. Around a choke point, this could be huge. Instant Will-O-Wisp used. They're targeting Yang. The protection of the BKB will get him to safety. Somnus. He's split away from the team at the moment. The rage is about to expire. Let's see if they can target down the lifestealer afterwards. A glimpse drag back. Who they found? It's just a Slaughter. The protection of the Wukongs as well completely blocks off the reinforcement. So Slaughter will fall. Oli as well. Caught out of placement here. But Emo, he's looking to go back in. Still got to be cautious here. With all the BKBs wasted, it looks like Fly is still very hesitant for how he wants to take the fight. So 1 for 2. Radiant are still going to see them with this incredible observer ward, so they're well aware of the positioning. Let's see if they can pounce with it. I'll start on Kaka, but Emo's still leading the charge. He wants this arcane. He's only got one astral step. Man, that is some balls on this guy.
I like how he's using the Yule Scepter though, right? He's not waiting to use it at the very last second because it doesn't do anything as long as, like, if the glimpse is used onto you, you get glimpse back. He's wanting to use it to get rid of that Thunder Strike that's on top of him so that they don't have the additional vision. Even though it was nighttime, you didn't have Yang there. He died at the previous fight, so he wants to remove that and then quickly get out of dodge. So good skill usage coming out from the #1 ranked player on the Chinese leaderboards.
I want to double check because Glimpse has got some things it works with and doesn't work with.
Doesn't work with yours. Dissimulate, I think you're good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure as well. I just want to double check because there's some like Astral for a while I swear did, and then they stopped the imprisonment from doing it. And there's always these mechanics that sometimes you can't keep up with. Somnus, they don't have Fly near the area, so. Again, we put a lot of emphasis so that this next Roshan is ever so important to tell the story of this game. And Elephant, they've made sure. They made that one mistake for the first Rosh with how they pushed in the bottom tier 1 tower, and IG made them punish with that quick instant Roshan thanks to the Slaughter. And it looks like they're making sure they don't make that mistake again. And in fact, with the Aghanims on Monkey, they might just look to get set up in the area. They still have... It's actually about to go daytime, so this could be a bit of an issue. Yang's got Dark Ascension in 10. Somnus is...
They've got a timing listed
Can they chain control him? Silence is out. Eurus needs to try and protect him as best as possible, but he's not able to do so. As they'll lose Somnus, they'll target down Yang as well, and Emo's hunting for more blood. They'll zone away Super, which makes it that much more easier to target down Eurus. He'll try and get the chance away. The pounce at the last second here, but JT, he's still hunting, continuing to go deeper and deeper under the tier 2 towers. Eurus is protected for a short duration with the Wukong command, but once that expires, they'll break the tree and they'll completely break the life. There's now even FY. I don't know how FY does it. How does this man do it? Somehow he can bring them back in some crazy fights, getting a double kill, which makes it honestly not that bad. But he's still in trouble here as Emo, leading the charge on the high ground. It's just the Void Spirit at the moment. Can he get this pesky rat? Continuing on forward. Enabled from Kaka's Chakra, refreshing the abilities, and that is enough to make it a full 5-man wipe. FI is even going to buy back. A little bit too late to find the kill. Might find Emo sharpshooter. Let's see if he can predict it. Emo sidestepping back and forth. Super though. He's got the Static Storm. And Emo, he's stuck around for too long. They'll find the Void Spirit. It's going to take them some time. The Simulate is really making him work for it, but Yang will finally close the distance. And what was looking like a really, really good fight for IG now means they might lose Roshan.
Yeah, I mean, FY is playing like an absolute beast this game. So many times in the laning stage, being able to dodge out a ton of kills, set up constantly for fights, and there. I mean, the kill onto the Slaughter, that hurts, but the kill onto Fly as well on top of that means that they can't contest into this road.
Eurus, it's got BKB. Yang's going to try and disrupt the backline. They don't have the damage at the moment without Fly and Emo. The BKB's committed early. They're going to be careful. They're broken the tree. Fly's back alive as well. Instantly jumps, pounces on top of the Monkey King, and he'll crit down the Night Stalker as well. No messing around for Fly's Sven, but the only issue is now he's got to be careful about the Halberd to kite him. He's going to try and target through FI, who just bought back previously and fessed it up. A little bit of bonus health, but again, a massive crit from Fly. Cuts down the Squirrel. He's going to jump forward as well to clean off Somnus. He doesn't have the Aegis for the protection. He's going to try and win the man fight, but against 4 heroes, it seems like the inevitable is coming shortly as another massive crit puts him in the grave.
Talk about diving too deep. That's like 2 in a row for opposite sides. Again, I feel like Monkey King, how many times did he get knocked out of trees? It felt like 3 in a row. So a lot of his effect in that team fight was not there. Didn't have the Wukong's command because of how defensively he had to use it around the tier 2 tower. And they could have just roached. They could have roached. They had 4 heroes up against, I think, 2 or 3 on IG's side, and it was already at 75% health. So big blunder for trying to go for that one little extra kill. And again, such a great turnaround, particularly from the supports on IG, using the 4 staffs to be able to break down those trees, get the kill onto the Monkey King, and then snowball the fight from there.
What a incredible swing in the economic damage here. What was about a 3,000 lead for Elephant. It's now skyrocketed to an 8k lead for Invictus Gaming. The upper bracket round 1 match, of course, the 2 Chinese Titans, TI representatives, kind of, you know, still the playhouse. These teams are experimenting, seeing what's working and what doesn't before they make it to TI. You know, in particular, the Somnus Lifestealer. We've never really seen a position 2 on this hero, but they're trying to make it work. Unfortunately, now they have to come back the deficit of 11k gold.
Survivability in that last fight was kind of crazy though, right? Like, he stayed alive against 4 heroes for the longest time while under the Nether Toxin as well. So kind of crazy. The fact that he's been able to pick up that Paladin sword, of course, is going to help on top of that Satanic and all of the extra HP regen that you get from holding that Heaven's Halberd. But he feels like, you know, you could survive for a long time and that's all well and good. I need to start doing some damage. So the Belt of Strength and the Basher recipe is what's set up in his quick buy right now. He wants to build into that Basher so that he can try and, you know, do a little bit of man fighting, particularly against Emo, right? He just wants to be able to lock down this maneuverable Void Spirit who, if FY's not there with the Gleipnir, it feels like he's able to use his Yule Scepter completely freely.
Oh, they just smoked under an observer ward, and Emo, he made sure that they knew they were there, popping the smoke. Another thing I want to bring up is that this is showing how difficult they're going to scale into the late game, considering Sven is just able to accumulate such a net worth advantage with this innate farming mechanic compared to someone like a Lifestealer, and even for that matter, a Monkey King as well. Like, this hero can farm relatively well, but it's not up to par as the Sven, and not to mention the fact that Fly, he went for the 20 talent with that plus 10 Warcry armor. He's even optimizing into more armor as well with the Assault Cuirass, and this is going to be a big issue as the game goes on for Elephant. Yes, you've got FY who's scaling pretty decently on the Hoodwink, so we'll offer them some magical damage, but regardless, your Monkey and Lifestealer are very physical orientated, and the Night Stalker kind of fulfills that role as well. JT, jump in. Well, speaking about the Night Stalker, Gang's been caught. This was a BKB traded, and very impactful for the Sven that he doesn't get kited in fight. So we'll see if this costs him in the next team fight. Emo, no messing around again, jumping in, even using the Ignis, but it looks like now with the abilities wasted, I think IG might look for a hard reset. The only issue is you don't want to give up this area of control by the triangle.
I do like that with Ollie, though. You know, you didn't get baited in to be a part of that team fight. He realizes how important it is to be able to protect the backline. So he's holding onto that Viper Strike. He was playing right around where they've got that Observe Ward up onto the high ground. He just wants to use that Viper Strike in onto the Night Stalker in particular to be able to protect the Coddle, allow him to have that continued usage in these team fights.
All right, this is really cool with how we're seeing the Disruptor build. We've been seeing a lot of the Aghanim Shard previously through the group stages, even gone Solar Crest as well. And there was a stage when we were seeing just a crap load of Slardars, and a lot of people were talking about this late game carry matchup. You'd rather have a Slardar on your team because he's going to amplify your damage with getting rid of 20 armor reduction for the enemy team's carry. So naturally, Sven, in this regard, is going to do a shitload more damage than what a monkey's going to do. And they're recognizing this on Elephant. They're like, okay, we need our own steroid. Let's go the Disruptor Ag Shard and the Solar Crest as well, just to buff him up a little bit, as much as they possibly can.
And hell, even with that quickening charm, right, you've nearly got 100% uptime on that Thunderstrike. So you're going to allow him to just be this
Dire's
beast
middle
on the
tower
front
is
lines
under
and
attack.
really not have any way to be able to stop that extra attack speed, extra movement speed. I wonder who they're going to pop it onto. I would put it onto the Night Stalker perhaps for the first usage, and then either Eurus or maybe, depending on their positioning, when the middle of the team fight's going there. But I feel like, yeah, just having that really strong early movement, you can see already pre-casting it in onto Yang, and by the time it expires, it's basically off cooldown again, so he can just use it again. Why not?
Did have a smoke from either team, and it was just, oh, well, guess what? They've even got a DD on Emo. Did he go the crit? No, he went the...
Emo?
It's nighttime. They have the vision. Silence is out. Can he get the BKB off fast enough? The chain lockdown perfect. It's just a little late on the bushwhack. Emo? He's just gonna stick around, play with his food a little bit here. Maybe force some rotations or force some big abilities out from Flyflies. He'll jump in. But the only issue is now he has to pop the BKB to get out of the glimpse range. And I think IG need a full reset here and get it. How long's glimpse cooldown still? It's up in 5.
Dire's
getting
middle
away.
tower is under attack.
Well, it is still a Dark Ascension usage, but it was also the God
Dire's
Strength
middle
usage.
tower
So it's
has
an
fallen.
even trade for trade. Neither team really wants to fight in the next little bit of time. I would say IG, they're totally happy to wait, though, for the 40-minute mark. They'll get the tome.
Ever
They'll
seen
be able
someone
to
bleed out
bring
in a mix?
perhaps Viper up to his level 20, get that little bit of extra Viper Strike DPS pumping, and then it forces Elephant to be much more coordinated with their timing of the next Dark Ascension that's to come, right? Because if they don't get the kills, if they don't clearly win the team fight, then you're going to be fighting at daytime outside of it.
JT, run into a choke point. This is trouble. You're just locking the slider. That's a key target to bring down, but on the backline, they
Look
just
at the
claim the
cleave.
disruptor. And now they're going to try and target FI as well, but the control's not there at the moment, so on this instant rage, they're going to pounce on forward as well. Eurus has already the wasted the Wukongs previously, now with the BKB on cooldown as well. Can he continue with the man fight? Who's on the backline? Flyfly's actually going to jump on in. The Hellbird before the BKB. Now Flyfly's getting kited. He's going to retreat back to the safety of the team, but the only issue is that Yang, he's killed off for the backline. He's going to jump forward for more as well. Elephant, are they doing this right now? IG, they've got no buybacks. 3 down without it. Kaka trying to retreat back to safety, but they should be able to hunt him down. There's no escape for the Coddle. And Elephant out of nothing. Take an incredible fight.
Oh man, they were trying to quickly snag that gem afterwards that was left on the deck. Thankfully for them, the lanes are kind of pushed out. They're not in a position to be able to backdoor with this lineup. No Desolator, not the strongest tower hitters right now. But yeah, I mean, that just goes to show the effect. I was talking about the Bash before, right? He needed a little bit more damage to be able to get it through on the Lifestealer and the Monkey King. They had it pumping, and unfortunately for Emo, even though he's had a fantastic game, his net worth is still kind of bonkers.
Dire's
Until a
middle
little bit
tower is under
ago,
attack.
he was sitting number 2 on the net worth as a Void Spirit, which doesn't scale anywhere near as well as this Monkey King does.
Dire's
Are they-
structures
And yet,
are
it's
fortified.
right there.
Radiant structures
Alright,
are
let's see how they want to try and take the attack here to the buildings.
Dire's
No
middle
mess.
tower has fallen.
Just get the megas, sorry, get the super
Dire's
creeps mid,
middle
I should say.
barracks has fallen.
And they're going to look for
They
top
get
as
top as
well.
well.
Barracks has fallen.
Go the safe route. You know, it's going to have waves constantly pushing into IG's base. They've got decent defense, of course, with the Keeper of the Light. Yang, I feel like that's just an one for information. Right? You're going to be able to still confidently look towards the Roche pit. Unfortunately for them, it was a 2-minute Roche respawn. So unless Emo has been eating his Wheat Bix and feels very confident, I don't think he's going to go in and try and contest that.
And now these fights are not going to get any easier for IG. As Eurus is going Refresher Orb, he's about to hit level 25 as well. This is such an important talent pickup for the Monkey King, because we've seen they still, I was highlighting earlier the armor issue. While Monkey, if you get that ultimate out, it's very difficult to kill him through that duration. He can often man fight the the Sven, and the big issue is that IG have just been avoiding the Monkey King and trying to catch, FY and also Super on the backline. But with this extra ring, it makes it a little bit easier for Elephant to group up around a choke point and just have at least a structure to control the area of fight. So that is how you can maybe protect the supports and have them show their impact a little bit more as the fights continue on.
Especially with the Monkey King, right? They've only got one laner Rax left, and he's got the refresher. So if he wanted to, he could just pop one down on the tier 2. If IG decided to take a team fight there so that they're not fighting into their base and, potentially losing that Rax when he sets up the Wukongs. And then he could just do it again, even if the fight ends up in a draw. Rush up in 10.
Dude, FY is 9, 5, and 16. Level 25 as well. He's almost got Hex completed, which is gigantic if they can get that initial stun. We've seen they've been lacking the follow-up to kind of control someone like Emo's Void Spirit. So that's going to be huge.
He does have the Hex as well, though.
Oh, wow.
You have to keep that in mind. He's been building up into it for quite a while.
Oh, yes, the position 5 Viper. Yes. Forgot about him this game. That was kind of my question. Like, well, what are we going to feel this impact of the support as the game goes on? Like, how is he going to play the mid game, the early game? Is he just going to look to tank, stuns, be the smoke popper? And, it really feels like the break is nice once the BKBs aren't there, but we're seeing through this late game, like, Super and FY are the kings right now for the supports.
Holding on to the telescope as well, of course, buffing up the rest of his team somewhat. The 4-staff range on Kaka. Holly and Kaka will be playing around each other. Unfortunately for Kaka, though, he actually did go that Aghanim Shard. So even though they don't have the Io to pair it with, who they found?
Trying to lock on the Slardar.
Hex reveal.
Did he have... He still doesn't have Arcane Blink. Oh, they got the detection.
They found him.
Just a Viper. They're going to drop the Invictus to try and give him a little bit of space. Yang's a bit split for the rest of the team, but a sharpshooter from afar means that FI can position very safely. See if they can force down these BKBs. They're so clutch here from IG. You need the magic immunity so you don't get kited as someone like Sven is heavily reliant on that. And in fact, JT, who have they called to the back line?
They're a little split.
It's going to be the Wukongs just to try and clear off Kaka, but the stun's up there at the moment. Meanwhile, JT, he's got no help, but inside the base though, Flyfly is just going to drop the ultimate to simulate stun, locking Yang. They'll look to target down Flyfly next, but still with the BKB, he's going to turn and try and man-fight Eurus for the second round of the Wukong. She got the consistent bashes, the bonus armor, and that should be all she wrote. As they buffed up the Monkey King at a respectable amount where he can take these team fights with ease.
Just consistently using that Thunderstrike into whoever, right? The increased attack speed is going to make life complete hell for the Void Spirit, who had to just play kind of defensively. They weren't really connected either that time on IG. The JT and Emo didn't feel like they were on the same page. Looking to go in onto the Lifestealer after he'd expended his full rage cooldown while he was under the cover of a Hex, but well, that they didn't choose to end the game. I'm sure they might have been expecting, perhaps some buybacks were being held by IG at the time. Wasn't the case, but at least they still secure the Aegis for themselves.
And you gave... Is FY still holding this? Wait, I saw the shard and now I lost it. Okay, you're still holding the shard right now.
They're just passing it around, basically. It's hot potato.
Pass the parcel. Aegis on Eurus. Refresh the shard as well.
See.
They're messing
Do you
around.
have buyback is the question.
No. Sven's up in 30, and he doesn't have gold for buyback. At least I have Glyph. Emo gonna try and do as much work as he can. They're bursting down Somnus at the moment. They'll kill him off successfully. Now it looks like Hoodwink as well. They just have to get out of range of the Wukong's command. If they can kite that, then they might be in a favorable position here from Invictus Gaming. But the big issue is he's still got round 2 as well and an extra potential of his second BKB. Nice use of the simulate, just out of dodge. Emo's doing work at the moment. The team fight, but the bashes are coming through too strong. Eurus is opting for a TP up, but they have their Hex to cancel. And then they're back alive on Flyfly as well as the lock on. Let's see if the Jingu stacks is enough to keep the sustain. He's still got the supports in the back line, but I think you might just have to leave him and hope the rest of the team can make it away to safety as a successful defense from Invictus Gaming. And they do
not... Super need to go and grab this bounty rune. He is only 100 gold away from buyback on this monkey. Oh no, they're not going to do it. They're going to go all the way back to base. They couldn't end this, could they?
They won't have God strength. And
I mean, it's 80 seconds though. FY has done some crazy things in the past, but this would be something else. And remember, they've got the recall available on the Keeper of the Light as soon as he pops that spirit form.
FY might look to cut mid. Has he got buyback? He does. He might look to just sacrifice his life to cut mid.
50 gold on Monkey's
Radiant's
buyback.
structures are fortified. Dire's structures are fortified.
Alright.
Just trying to keep that back door unavailable for as long as possible. Yeah, and they recall in JT as well.
Tower has fallen.
We might have an even ball game here.
Radiant's middle barracks are
Super
under attack.
creeps in the middle lane. They won't be able to find top with still the tier 2 tower and elephant. They might look to get a second set, however. So they're starting to swing towards bottom. You have to be a bit careful though, as JT.
He'll be fine. He was under his little
Puddle.
pool.
Yeah. Monkey's got buyback up now.
Don't think
15
you want to use
seconds.
it though.
They do not want to force it, but at least he has this available. If a further team fight breaks out, they're going to lead the
Might need
charge.
to.
I mean, Monkey is not able to rejoin, and well, that's a big issue with Somnus down, and Emo's going to jump the backline as well. JT falling low, Static Storm doing immense amount of work. But if it just drops a couple more puddles, he should get that regen. Are they going to stick around on Invictus Gaming, though? Top is getting shoved in. Of course, they have the exposed throne. So JT's going to opt to do the defensive work here.
Gotta get on back. They were very... What's the word? Committed? No, not the word. I always lose myself with these words, but they were very coordinated, saying, look, the tower, it might only be 1 or 2 hits away, but with the Monkey King respawning in a couple of seconds, you didn't want that classic mistake that often happens in China where, you know, you stick around for a little bit too long and the rest of the team, even though it might be at a numbers disadvantage, they'll still go on you because they know that the follow-up is there once the respawns happen. FY, look at how farmed he is. Level 26. Pure damage, piercing spell immunity.
Emo?
He's got the cheese.
Refresher pop, so he's got
Can they burst
double
him?
use
They
to the
can.
abilities now.
Look at all that. He gave it
Gem?
1100 gold.
Yeah, I don't know. FY super farm. Eurus? Gonna send a higher gun with the pistol blade out. Again, they're gonna try and target the Sven. He pops a refresher for the double boundless, and Eurus will clean off 2 of the heroes here. Now, Yang providing some information if they can find the glimpse, but nice use of the Ignis on Karka. I say that. He's gone for a ballsy TP. Super just out of range, so I do not know who got the gem from mid after the Emo pickoff.
It's still there.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well,
Will the courier get it?
looks like it's going
Nope.
for it. Oh,
No, it's just bringing Monkey.
okay. Well, we've seen, before we get this high ground defense, is there a team that you'd rather be on the side at the moment? Because we got an even game, 1,000 net worth lead. Who do you feel like has the superior team fight and the easier way to execute as this game goes on?
I mean, even if the Sven buys back, he's not going to have his God strength. So they just want to try and wait for that. Like, A, you want to be able to have that second life, of course, but you're buying back without God strength, it was basically for nothing.
They might do the same thing as Elephant did previously. The only issue is that Yang can provide the vision. They're on top of Emo. He's been the
nullifier.
X factor these past
There's
couple
the
of fights.
buyback.
He just gets the BKB. They have to kite the Wukongs. They've been able to do so successfully to start.
Sven's
But now
completely
Emo,
split,
how
though.
can he go back in? They're on top of the life tool again. They dissimulate Send Somnus. He's still alive. They'll finally clean him off. Flat fly with the blink on forward. IG, they have the advantage of the buybacks closer to the base. This has to come in clutchy for their defense. A costly one at that is Emo along with JT looking to rejoin. Can they get any more out of it? Yang makes the TP out. They do see FY, but there's no extra fall there.
Lots of buybacks being used as well. Let's have a look at who's got it available. Oh, it's only the Disruptor. Very nice.
Roche is...
Fair ways away on the Roche spawn timer, though.
Alright, we gotta look at items now, because we're 9 minutes away from neutrals. We don't care about that. What's the send gone? I really wonder if Fly... I mean, he still wants to get rid of Echo, but like Refresher is definitely on the cards because you've highlighted if God Strength is down, he's got no damage. So
Radiant
he's
are
gonna
scanning.
go Silver's Edge just to help out with that 1 infantry slot of the Echo Saber.
He's getting recalled as well. They might be looking to make a bit of an aggressive play during the daytime here. You know, if you can catch out the Night Stalker during the daytime, that's really good. But I think Elephant are playing this just how they need to. They're standing inside the base. They know that they've got the advantage. A bunch of buybacks were just used by IG. And like you just mentioned, even though they don't necessarily know that they're lacking in buybacks right now on Elephant, it's the value of the unknown. You know? Only
Not
20
again.
seconds away, I believe, for Yang.
Let's see if they place the ward and jump Eurus instantly. They're going to try it. Hex is out. Fly's got the follow-up as well. He's got a buyback. Oh, IG. That's the perfect pickoff you were looking for. No messing around. They drop the ward. They jump in. They recognize that Elephant. They could defend previously because they blocked them from going up the ramp instantly with that Wukong. And this time, they won't let him do it again.
Top wave is pushing in. It's a very strong wave on the top side, so they need to make a decision.
Oh, they see Yang.
What are you doing, buddy? Just going on a bit of an excursion there. Might be forced to pop the BKB just so he can TP away, and he does.
That flicker.
You imagine if that was on point.
Oh no, you're gonna hate if this is gonna be a fast roast spawn as well, potentially up in 15 seconds. And JT's got Moonshard, level 25. Did he go undispellable? He did, sorry. Any other 25s? What's Cuddles? The Blinding Light stun, okay.
It's pretty
eh. What was the other
It's
one?
good for the chain stun, of course, being able to stop the Dark Ascension from being popped, the Wukongs from going out, and the Rage in particular for Elephant. So it's not bad, but a lot less impactful than some of the other level 25s that we see. And it's probably one of the longest Roche spawns that we could hope for. So 2 minutes, 40 seconds, going to give plenty of time for all these buybacks to come back up. I mean, that's always the most exciting part, right?
True. I'm saying, like,
exciting.
wait, do we want tier 5 neutral items? We've gotten it once on our first day of the
Sure.
groups.
Well, they're pushing in when Monkey King's about to respawn as a bit of a pause. I mean, wouldn't
Stretch it
surprise
out.
me if it... Yeah, they talk about WC, perhaps.
Bro, you got a big issue with Water Closet, huh? Shh.
I mean, why Water Closet, you know?
Shake my head. Yeah, I don't know. Good question. Someone in chat can help us out. I don't know. Man, Aussies call anything really stupid things. The Lou.
Man, just
Donnie?
have a look at all the different graphs. Like, net worth graph, it's 1,000 in favor of IG. Doesn't mean anything at this stage. XP, basically even. Doesn't mean anything at this stage. Win probability, it's favoring Elephant, but I think that's just because of the rack situation. You know, if the bottom racks was evened out, then it'd probably be pretty damn close to 50-50.
So there are still big issues for IG at fighting into the Monkey King. We've seen these past couple of fights that they've been able to kite the Wukongs, and that's really felt the only reason why they've been able to take it. So you either have to get lucky of getting a bash / just using Abyssal Blade, then dropping Wukongs, and then this range is that huge that it's very far to get out. You know, maybe Night Stalker opts into, I love this, he's going Basher, which will be into Abyssal next. That's what they need. They need BKB piercing control, because all IG are playing for right now is evacuating out of the Wukong's command, resetting, finding the angle back into the fight, and then going from there. So it's all
But
eyes.
I feel like these, like, if IG fight into them and they're not able to kill the Monkey King before he gets off the Wukong's command, he can just use the Wukongs and he's still got the refresher refresher orb to be able to refresh and have it a second time. If you're committing in and trying to kill the Monkey King, you're using God Strength, you're using Hex, you're using basically all of your cooldowns on the Void Spirit as well to try and make it happen. So that if it doesn't, then you're putting yourself in a pretty risky position, although with Void Spirit, you've got a lot of damage potential now with that refresher orb picked up as well.
And that's why I was wanting the refresher on Sven before or at least when he was going for the Silver's Edge. I'm like, I understand Silver's Edge. I also want to see a refresher at least next item, because you've highlighted cooldown on God Strength is a big issue. And right now, Monkey King at least has 2 capabilities where he's not as reliant on those cooldowns. So if they kite the first ulti, then you pop refresher, you got second one ready to rock and roll. And that's going to be very similar for the Sven. Even gives him a second BKB as well, which again, we just brought up before, how impactful those are going to be.
I wonder if Ollie just keeps his courier up here, just to see if there's going to be any observer wards placed because of a smoke or anything like that.
Yeah, why not?
You got to pick up that bounty rune. It's going to be very
they're coming
important.
out. All right, Elephant. Not a lot of buybacks, Zhang.
And that's with an Arcane Blink as well on
Leading the
Yang.
charge. Fly. Bit disconnected from the team as well with the high ground. How can they reset away?
Used.
IG need to get back on their own side of the map here, but unfortunately they're not going to give them opportunity.
That's
but
a good
Emo,
initiation.
what a jump on the backline. He'll disrupt the ultimate for the Wukong's man, which hasn't still come out yet. As it bursts with the monkey, they cast it down from this as well. And look at them all crumble as IG take probably what will be the last team fight of the game.
Top tower is under attack.
Oh, and it's
Wow.
Radiant's
My
top tower-
God.
How do you not get off the Wukongs in that sort of situation? And a pause coming through, JT, really? Rub salt into the wound, why don't you?
What a game, what a series. IG taking our opener in the playoffs 2-0 and knocking down the TI representatives in Elephant to the lower bracket.
Well, we didn't get tier 5 items, but we did get an absolute banger of a game. Dead even, Dota Plus thinking 80% Elephant before that last team fight. And yeah, I mean, you can have this refresher orb, but if you don't get off the Wukongs the first time, it doesn't mean too much of anything. And well, unfortunately, the midlife stealer in one of its first instances of being picked is not going to secure the win. But IG and IG fans, they're going to be very happy with being able to move on forward. They will take on Asta in the second round of the upper bracket being played tomorrow. But we're not done. We've got another series being played today, Vici Gaming against Team Magma. And actually, remind me, did Magma beat Vici previously?
No,
was that one of the teams?
Vici
that
2-0.
Okay. It was
Very convincing.
Ares? It was Ares that beat Vici.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Which put them in, a little bit more of a risky position. But Magma, we've seen they're so hot and cold is the way that I would call them. Sorry for the pun, but it is something where Dust, he's able to pop off. He's on his right hero. If they let the TZY Pangolier come through, then it could spell a little bit of trouble for Vici Gaming. But I mean, it just has to go back to the supports on PYW and DY. What are they going to be able to do to secure the game for the rest of their team? So very well-deserved victory for IG, though.
Without a doubt, with how they were able to turn this back around. I mean, at one stage, they were the ones with a huge net worth lead, about 13k. It swung back into Elephant's favor when they got the 2 full sets of barracks advantage. But for IG, they stuck strong, defended their high ground, executed back-to-back team fights, and I was still very worried at how they were going to be able to fight into the Monkey King. But man, it felt like Emo really put them in his backpack there with how much work he was able to do. You're making space, getting these key pickoffs, disrupting the backline, and that last fight as well. What a way to end it from the Void Spirit. I mean, it really felt like as soon as he picked up the level 25, that dissimulate stun, my God, that chain control in the fights was stupid. Like, that was pretty much the one big reason why they were able to kill Somnus multiple times in really, really high impact moments. So there's got to be
2.5 seconds is too long,
It's
right? Like, you compare Dissimulate Stun to the Coddle 25 talent, where it's a blinding light stun for 1.2 seconds, less than half of the duration. And if you get that refresher orb, you can just do it again. You zip in, you use a resonant pulses, you zip back and forth quickly with the astral step, pop your Shivas, and then just do it all again. And it's just an insane amount of damage. You can see there on the damage charts that Emo, he scaled amazingly. He did the most damage by far in the game. And poor FY, how can you have a performance like that with the amount that he was able to do in the laning stage, the mid game defending against a sure defeat that would have probably come about 20 minutes earlier, doing the second most damage on your team, and it's still not enough. So the old man still got it, but we'll have to see if he still got it in the lower bracket, because Elephant, they're dropping down, IG moving on forward. So I'm keen. Next series, who knows how long we'll have to wait, though. It was a 2-0, so it might be a tiny bit of a longer wait. At most, it'll only be about half an hour, and I can already see that we've got 3 out of 10 in the Vici versus Magma lobby. So we shall see.
Yep.
There'll be a few debates going on with the time right.
Debates. All right. Enough of that, man, mate. But regardless, so Emo showing Stomnus how the Void Spirit is meant to be played here in this second game. An incredible performance from him, an incredible performance from IG as well. But, we've been asking for some, wonky drafts and some experimental stuff, and that's to be expected here. These TI teams, still fighting for some money on the line, but definitely looking to have official scrims in a way where they can try things, and attempting the life steal as a position to You know, we'll see how that's going to continue to come. You know, potentially something they'll experiment more in scrims to get a bit better of a feel for. But for Elephant, they've still got a long road to come now in the lower bracket. But like you said, that's not us done for the evening. We got Vici Gaming taking on Team Magma next.